What if I told you eating right has almost nothing to do with whether you're actually healthy, not the salad you had for lunch, not the supplements lined up in your cabinet, not even the numbers staring back at you on the bathroom scale? For decades, we were told that health comes down to one simple formula: eat clean, count your calories, and the rest takes care of itself. But research tells a different story. Ansel Keys spent years studying the diets of 7 different countries and found that the healthiest populations on Earth weren't eating any single perfect diet at all. Their meals looked nothing alike, yet their hearts stayed strong for decades. Dan Buettner spent over a decade mapping the so-called blue zones, the 5 regions where people routinely live past 90, and found their diets varied wildly, from the sweet potatoes of Okinawa to the wine and beans of Sardinia. And Herman Ponce, an evolutionary anthropologist, strapped monitors onto the Hadza people of Tanzania and measured something that broke a core assumption of modern fitness culture. Hunter-gatherers who move all day don't actually burn more total calories than sedentary office workers. So what changed? Not their diets, not their gyms, not their willpower. What changed was everything happening around the food, the part nobody puts on a nutrition label. Think about that for a second. 3 completely different research teams, studying 3 completely different populations, and none of them landed on a single magic meal plan. That should tell you something. It should tell you that the whole framing of eating right equals healthy was probably wrong from the start. Today, I'll show you 7 research-backed reasons you might not be healthy, even if you're eating right, and why your body's real health depends on far more than what's sitting on your plate. Reason 1. You're not sleeping the way your body actually needs. You can eat a perfect diet and still wreck your metabolism overnight, literally. Sleep is when your body repairs tissue, regulates hormones, and clears waste out of your brain. Cut it short, and your body starts behaving like it's under attack. Matthew Walker, a sleep researcher at UC Berkeley, found that just 1 week of sleeping 6 hours a night altered the activity of over 700 genes, many of them tied directly to inflammation and immune function. Skip enough sleep, and your insulin sensitivity can drop to levels seen in people with prediabetes, regardless of how well you ate that day. You feel it the next afternoon as a crash you can't explain. Why does this matter more than most people think? Because sleep debt doesn't announce itself the way hunger does. There's no growl, no obvious signal. It just quietly reroutes your hormones, one night at a time, until the damage shows up somewhere else entirely, in your waistline, your mood, or your blood work. Smart fix: protect 7 to 9 hours the same way you protect your diet. You cannot out-eat a bad night's sleep. Reason 2. Your blood sugar is spiking in ways you never notice. Eating right often just means avoiding the obvious junk food, but hidden sugar hides in bread, sauces, granola bars, and anything proudly labeled low-fat. Robert Lustig, an endocrinologist who has spent decades studying metabolic health, has shown that repeated sugar spikes slowly train your cells to stop responding properly to insulin. That process, insulin resistance, can build for years before any blood test ever flags it. You feel tired after meals. You crave something sweet an hour later. Your energy crashes by mid-afternoon, every single day, like clockwork. None of that shows up on a scale, but it shows up in how you feel every hour you're awake. And here's the part that catches most people off guard. You can be thin, exercise regularly, and still be insulin resistant. Doctors call it skinny fat for a reason. The scale was never measuring what actually matters. Smart fix: watch blood sugar spikes, not just calories, by pairing carbohydrates with protein, fat, or fiber at every meal. Reason 3. Your gut bacteria are less diverse than they should be. Your gut isn't just where digestion happens. It's home to trillions of microbes that help regulate your immune system, your mood, and even how efficiently your body extracts nutrients from food. Rob Knight, a microbiologist who helped launch the American Gut Project, analyzed thousands of stool samples and found that low microbial diversity is linked to obesity, allergies, and chronic inflammation, even in people who eat what looks like a textbook healthy diet. Eating the same 10 foods on repeat, no matter how clean each one is, quietly starves out entire families of beneficial bacteria. Have you eaten the same few vegetables every week for years? Your gut has noticed, even if you haven't. This is why 2 people can eat what looks like the exact same clean diet and get completely different results. One person's gut microbiome might be thriving on 20 different plant fibers a week. The other might be eating the same broccoli and chicken every single day, technically healthy, but starving their own microbiome without ever realizing it. Smart fix: rotate in more plant varieties every week. Gut diversity comes from variety, not virtue. Reason 4, you're losing muscle faster than you think. Muscle isn't just for looking fit. It's your body's largest reservoir for regulating blood sugar and metabolic health. Peter Attia, a physician who studies longevity, points out that adults can lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade after 30, and that decline accelerates fast if you're not actively resisting it. Less muscle means your body has fewer places to store the glucose from your meals, so even a genuinely healthy diet gets processed less efficiently than it used to. Have you noticed you can eat the exact same way you did 10 years ago and still feel completely different? That's often muscle, not food. This is called sarcopenia, and it doesn't wait for old age to start. It begins quietly in your 30s, long before most people ever think to worry about it, and by the time it becomes visible, years of decline have already happened. Smart fix: add resistance training twice a week. Muscle is the organ that makes your diet actually work. Reason 5, chronic stress is quietly inflaming your entire body. Sheldon Cohen, a psychologist at Carnegie Mellon, ran a now-famous study where he exposed volunteers to the common cold virus and found that people under chronic stress were significantly more likely to get sick, no matter how clean their diet or how consistent their exercise. Stress hormones like cortisol suppress immune function and drive inflammation upward when they stay elevated for weeks or months at a time. You can eat vegetables every single day and still be inflamed from the inside if your nervous system never gets a chance to rest. That's the part most wellness advice skips entirely. It tells you what to put in your body, but almost never what to take out of your day. And chronic stress is one of the few things no diet on earth can fully offset. Smart fix: build in daily stress recovery, even just 10 minutes. Your body can't outnourish a nervous system stuck in overdrive. Reason 6, you're moving far less throughout the day than your body expects. James Levine, an endocrinologist at the Mayo Clinic, coined the term NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, to describe the calories you burn just standing, fidgeting, and walking around during an ordinary day. He found that lean and overweight individuals differed by up to 2 hours of daily movement, even when neither group exercised formally at all. 1 hour at the gym cannot offset 10 hours sitting at a desk. Your body was built to move constantly throughout the day, not in a single scheduled burst before or after work. Ever wonder why some people seem to stay lean without ever stepping foot in a gym? Look closer and you'll usually find they are standing more, pacing while they talk, taking the stairs without thinking about it. It adds up to hours most of us are missing entirely. Smart fix: stand up and move for a few minutes every hour. Total daily movement matters more than any single workout ever will. Reason 7, you may be missing nutrients your body actually needs, even while eating clean. Rhonda Patrick, a biomedical scientist who studies nutrient metabolism, has shown that modern soil depletion and industrial food processing have quietly lowered the micronutrient content of foods that look identical to what our grandparents ate. Magnesium, vitamin D, and omega-3 fatty acids are 3 of the most common shortfalls, and deficiencies in any of them can silently disrupt your sleep, your mood, and your metabolic health. You can technically eat right, in the strictest sense of the word, and still be running your entire body on an empty tank. It's a strange kind of blind spot. You did everything the food pyramid told you to do, and the shortfall was baked into the ingredients before you ever bought them. Smart fix: get key nutrient levels tested rather than assumed. You can't fix a deficiency you don't know you have. So what if I told you that eating right was never the whole answer? Health was never just about what sits on your plate. It's about your sleep, your blood sugar, your gut, your muscle, your stress, your daily movement, and the nutrients your food may no longer even contain. The people who stay healthiest for decades, from the blue zones Dan Buettner mapped to the hunter-gatherers Herman Ponce studied, aren't chasing one perfect diet. They're paying attention to all 7 of these at once, without even realizing it has a name. If this changed how you think about your own health, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more.